Hey, thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. It is February 26th. And it's Friday. Alright, I gotta turn this off. Hang on. This is gonna be a good one. I love the Dixie Chicks. I love a lot of music. I really do. Thank you for the people who have sent me music. Alright, so today, this is going to be a talk on weight. Scientology and weight, and just my successes. I happened to post on Facebook that I'd lost 92 pounds, and some people asked me a bunch of different questions, and Michael Pattinson said, why don't you make a video on it so you can answer some of these? So that's good. So that's what I'm going to do. First of all, let's talk about how does somebody get heavy in Scientology. Obviously, there's all kinds of different reasons people get heavy. But in Scientology, like I've said, it's like a pyramid. And the higher up you get, the more cut off you are. The less people you can talk to, the more top secret it is, right? So I was on OT7, which is second to the top. OT8 is the top. And basically, from day one, it didn't work for me. It wasn't what they had promoted. Different people had said you could heal people. And I was like, well, where's the information on healing? They sent me right away to corrections, and they said, here's the material, that's what it is, that's it. So it basically didn't work. Long story short, you can't talk to anybody on OT7 at all. It's top secret, you cannot. So you could go into cramming and say, you know, I'm not happy, and they'll, again, always it comes down to, well, you must have a misunderstood word, or you're PTS, or you're, you know, meaning you're connected to a suppressive person or something, right? So, and also you have to be in sessionable 5 hours a day. That's what you're supposed to be, which is a lot of hours out of a day to be going in and out of session. And each time if you have to check and see if your metabolism is right, which I'm not going to go into explaining that, but often it means they'll say, go eat something. So you start eating to be sessionable so you can be in session. The other reason you eat is it's your best friend. There's nothing else. You can't talk to anybody, so let's go eat. You know, so it's one of the comfort things. So truly and honestly, by 53 years old, I was the same size as Kirstie Alley is now. I was huge. I'd gained 100 pounds on OT7. I kept writing David Miscavige, please let me off of this. It's not working. It's not right. There's something wrong with it. Okay, continue. Okay, continue. That's it, right? So I just kept eating and eating and eating. I was huge. I was absolutely huge. So I finally realized I actually scared myself. I saw myself in a mirror in the mall, and I thought, wow, that person's, you know, it was one of those slanting up mirrors, so I saw the feet, and I was like, wow, that person has big feet. And then their legs, wow, they're really overweight. You know, it kept going on up, and it was me. You know, it's like when you really are overweight, you're not looking at your whole body. You're looking at, you know, kind of your face, your hair. I look okay, right? It was me. So I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to turn myself into Weight Watchers. I realized I don't know how to eat. And I wasn't going to eat their food because then I knew I'd go back to eating regular food, right? So I just wanted to learn how to eat. And back when I started, with the first videos you guys see of me, pretty much, I mean, there's the ones where I'm trying to handle the critics, and I'm kind of heavy there. But the first ones you really see is Magoo dancing in Boston, and I had lost about 60 pounds there. I turned myself into Weight Watchers. She had said, the only thing you can control, really, is what you put in your mouth. Now, I was an OT at the time and thought, oh, you know, I'm an OT. I can control anything. But okay, I'll do it. And I did. I did the program, and it was back when you had to weigh things and measure them and all this stuff. And people would say, well, you know, don't you have to weigh and measure things? And I'd think, you know, when you're 100 pounds overweight, you are thinking about it all day long. If you go to sit down, you have to think, can I get up out of that chair? If you're going to go for a walk, you know, it's just like on and on. It's an all-day affair when you're that overweight. Or even if you're 50 pounds overweight. That's a lot of weight to carry around. And if you're thin and you can't understand it, every 10 pounds is the same as a 10-pound bag of potatoes. So 100 pounds is 10 10-pound bags of potatoes, which is a lot of weight, right? So I was in bad shape. 6 months later, I mean, just to finish the measuring thing back then, you know, you put your hand into a bag of cereal, you take it out, you put it into a cup, there you go. That's so many points. Or it wasn't points back then. It was, I don't know, I forget how it was. It was like you had so many breads, so many fruits, that kind of thing. Anyway, it took a second to measure it. That was it. You ate, you enjoyed your meal, you were done. You didn't think about it again till the next meal. It was simple. And I thought, whereas when you're overweight, you're thinking about it all day long, right? So here's my shirt. I got it out just to show you and this was after I'd lost a bunch of weight with Weight Watchers. But 6 months later, the only thing that had changed, she was right. I'd lost 60 pounds. Everybody else, they hadn't changed anything. Now, I don't know if you can see how far this is, but here's this side. You know, I mean, I was big. Mamacita. Okay, so here I am now. There you go. 92 pounds thinner. All right, so there you go. So what the different questions people asked were, how does it work? For me, number one, I'm really big on go to the meetings because people go, oh, I'll do it online, but it's just so easy. We're all so good at cheating yourself. You know what I mean? And as Flora says, she's the person I go to every Thursday night here in Burbank, and she's said for years, if you don't check in, you check out. And it's true. Whereas I don't know how to explain it, but if there's some way you have to go and weigh in, you just kind of make better decisions. And I wanted to learn how to make better decisions. I didn't want to get skinny anymore. I was 53. It was just like I needed to learn how to eat. So that's why I went there, and that's still why I go there. And I go every week on Thursday night. And I took it very seriously. I realized for me, this is just for me, but I was almost like an alcoholic. You know what I mean? But towards the end, when I was 100 pounds overweight, I'd be driving down the street. There's some donuts. I'd go, I'll just have one. Well, maybe I'll get two. Well, maybe I'll get three, right? Okay, now I had the donuts. Might as well go to McDonald's because I'm already way off of my diet back then. So let's go to McDonald's. Have lunch. There you go. Oh, I'm really hungry. You're hungry all the time when you're overweight. I don't know how to explain it, but even people say all the time, well, I don't eat. And I didn't either. But then you do eat. And when you eat, you way overeat. So now people ask me, well, what do you eat? And I literally eat every 2 hours. But it's just like a little bit. Like I had a bran muffin this morning and some coffee and a little bit of yogurt. And that was it. And you can go, oh, that's not enough for me. But it doesn't matter. There's a million different versions. I'm not going to tell you what I eat because what you might eat is different. First of all, the really nice thing about Weight Watchers is the heavier you are, now they have a whole point system. So you just have to go add up your points, right? And you get so many points a day. And the heavier you are, the more points you get. And if you're a guy, they get even more points. And a lot of men are doing Weight Watchers now. It used to be all women, but now it's like men, women, kids, all kinds of people are coming and doing it. And it works. It really does. The other thing is that I don't buy their food. Like I said, I wanted to learn how to eat. They have two books. One is for all food, and one is for, fast food. And that's amazing in itself, to just find out, like I go to Jack in the Box all the time. I've lost 92 pounds going to Jack in the Box, once or twice a week. And I'll get their chicken fajita. It's only 6 points, right? But their burgers can be 27 points just for the burger itself. So it's kind of amazing to see the range of things. And you can pick out what's better for you, what isn't. So it's one of those things where it definitely works. People go, well, doesn't it cost you money? How much money does it cost to be overweight, to be unhappy, to be unhealthy, to be unfit? You know what I mean? All those things for me, it's not that much money. It's like I think it's $10 a week. It's, by the time you go out to eat one time, you've way paid for, your monthly thing of Weight Watchers. So to me, it's an excellent program. It works. It goes along with many, Dr. Oz, all the other people, they say the same thing. It's portion control and, keeping your metabolism so that it's not spiking, right? So that's why you eat every few hours. So anyway, someone asked me, well, are you getting flabby? And it's like, I'm 62 years old. There may be a little bit of flab around me. And I'm not going to say, no, there isn't. I don't have any. But I'm working on it, and as you get stronger and you exercise and stuff like that, it tones up. There you go. So we'll see, where that goes. But it's not worth staying heavy because you might have a little bit of, some kind of stuff that's a little saggy, if it is. If it is. Now Scientologists, they'll look at me and they'll go, oh my God, look at her neck. Oh my God. It's like, what? Screw you guys. I know how fat you are. You're a bunch of blimps. And you're out of shape, and you're unhealthy and you're unhappy and you're staying in your little cult because you have the bridge to total freedom. And Nancy Cartwright, look at Nancy Cartwright. Is she thin? No, she's fat. She's overweight. She needs to lose weight. So does John Travolta. So does Kirstie Alley. You know, it's like I could go on and on. They're all overweight, right? Are they doing anything about it? Scientology doesn't have anything to do. I've asked them for years to help me with it. That's why I turned myself into Weight Watchers, because they don't have any real tools. They say they do, and you think you do, you know, because you're cause over life. Well, guess what? Look at them. Just go look at them, and there you go. And, you know, I'm not saying I'm the greatest or anything. I mean, I still have more weight to lose. I'm exercising. I'm working out. I'm getting stronger. You know what I mean? It's an evolution. That's how I look at it. It's a transformation. Just like leaving Scientology, it was a transformation out of it, and it still is. I mean, I just learned about Jack Parsons and Crowley last weekend, and I've been out for 9 years. So, I mean, I'd heard of them, but I never really put it together until I saw that show, which is on tonight and Saturday night out at Caltech for anybody here in California. So anyway, that's my talk on weight. I hope it helped for the people that are interested. For you that aren't, watch a different video, all right? And I love you all. Thank you for coming by my video. Thank you for being just great people. I really, really appreciate your comments. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Peace.